Sometimes like there will be a fucking moments like this where you just feel so alone, feel so discouraged, like empty inside. This really like is about all three pillars of life. So there is like this way: your physique, your business, and girls, relationships, and close people to you basically. Because some people are into other stuff, and like also friends are really important. But if you're really like pushing the to your limit and doing everything you can, there will be these moments like where you will really doubt yourself. I thought at first, while I was starting like making money, I was starting like doing different shit than other people, that when I will reach a certain point, it will finally stop. It will magically stop and I won't care. If I reach the threshold of 1k a month, 2k a month, 3k a month, no, it will stop eventually, right? What I often heard from my now ex-girlfriend is I live like too extreme. My expectations are higher than they should be. And I haven't agreed a single time with this. Because let me tell you, if you're crazy enough and if you're focused, you really focus on your goal, there are no limitations. You will basically reinvent your life every couple of months, because if you keep on improving, if you keep on just having these new ideas, these new thoughts, like there is no point where you just stop. We are not working until like, because the being rich for me, making money, having good physique, having girls, maybe one day having like a meaningful relationship which I can commit to, it's really a byproduct of just all of this, because like I really do it for the love of the game, like, you know. And many people don't, and I think that's wrong idea, because in the moments like that, when you have to really push through and you really have to do your best, because you can give up, like, yeah, if you're a fucking pussy, you can give up and don't give a shit. You can give up on your goals and go back to normal. No one is forcing you to do anything like this anyway. But if you want to do bigger things in life, right? If you want to achieve greatness, if you want to become like the best producer you can be, because it is not about comparing yourself with other people. It is really comparing you from today with you from yesterday, because the comparison, like with the era of social media right now, is really unfair. Like, sorry, like to talk about, but it is really unfair, to be honest. It's a good motivation for sure, but it can get in your head really fast, because if you keep seeing, fuck this, no. If you keep seeing these crazy results that people are getting, they seem almost like unreasonable. There's this trend of LARPing right now, which basically people fake their success. It can really get in your head, right? And especially if, for example, mix and mastering was always so important for me. And I was really obsessed to get like my mixes really clean. I always watched tutorials on how to like mix like a certain producer, or how to like achieve this technique. And if you keep comparing yourself to fucking others, you will be always disappointed, right? So in moments like this, you really have to be grateful. And I make this video for like a couple of reasons, right? First reason is I just want to talk. I just want to like talk about it. And the second one is actually to express my gratefulness, because through the years, oh, and I cannot use the torch again. Through the years, I developed such a fucking mental to just not fear like stuff, you know? Why is my... I guess we will be recording without the torch on. So really, I developed such a fucking system, such a fucking tough mental. I have people asking me how I deal with this crap online. How do I not feel like making reels? How do I not feel like stating my opinion? How I'm so direct? How I do X? How I do... Because I don't give a fuck. I learned in life really so much lessons, right? But the most important one of them is like the hate from people always come from the bottom, right? So there will be always like the people who are hating on you. Those are the people who are lesser than you. And I was actually a believer that we are equal. It may sound dumb right now because I strongly disagree with this right now. I don't think we are equal. I don't think we will ever be, because there are always like individuals who can push harder, who can. There are people like Albert Einstein, Elon Musk, like people who are really making this world a different place, better or worse, but making it different. And there is so much like fucking mediocre people who are just doing anything, like not doing nothing. Like I don't understand quite how we are supposed to believe in equality. Right now, I'm not talking about genders and all that stuff. No, no, no. Like with taxes, like with like being one. How we are talking about equality. How two individuals possibly could be equal. This is like really blowing my mind. And I don't agree with that, because at the end of the day, no one is forcing you to do anything. If you are over 18, like you have your own life pretty much in your hands. And you decide what to do, what not to do. And there will be payoffs, and the difference, like the opposite, right? The negative things that comes with doing like bad stuff. So if you decide like to go to that party that I haven't went to, drink alcohol on the day that I went to the gym, like, and you expect us to be equal, like why? Because we are not. And in those days, in days like that, you really have to remind yourself that you are not equal, that you are not the same, that you are actually making things that other people are scared to. Also, with this comes listening to other people usually will get you nowhere. I'm not talking about constructive criticism and like generally good advice, not to smoke, not to like fucking, I don't know. But many times on my path where I was just like doing something which worked for me, right? And I was sure that it was working for me. But I just deluded myself into, because other people were telling me, no, you shouldn't be that extreme. No, you shouldn't do that. No, making this amount of channels, type B channels, is crazy. Don't know, you are overworking yourself. How many fucking times I heard that I'm overworking myself? I hear it to this day now. And you know, maybe I do. But who fucking cares? If you don't want to overwork yourself, just mind your own fucking business. And I'm really like pissed about other people expecting you to live your life their way. If you get me, like, okay, I'm overworking myself, maybe. If this to other people, I'm recommending to people like who are like me. And I'm not trying to say like this is for everyone. Of course not. But you will have to remind yourself that you are not crazy. Maybe you are. But being crazy is a good thing. Because being crazy, you can achieve greatness. Being crazy, you can achieve more than most of people. And if you are fine with like going to the cinema once a week, fucking your girlfriend twice a week, going to the pub with friends after work, drinking 2 beers, okay, like live in moderation. I'm all the way. Go to vacation once a year for a week, fine. That is not for me. I don't enjoy this stuff. I don't like moderation. I just live either 0% or 100%. And stop trying to match the expectations of mediocre people. Because if you are not mediocre, you will just piss people off. And especially if you are direct like me. If you don't fear what people will think about. I'm not saying like to be mean on purpose. I'm not saying to be just a fucking jackass, like a fucking dork. Because I'm trying my best to not be like. But if you're being honest with people, people don't like honesty, especially men, and I'm not talking like the men who are presenting themselves with like a lot of value, with a lot of morale and basically good men. I'm not talking about this type. I'm talking about this manlets, let's say, because from experience, girls really take it good. They appreciate the honesty, and like you have to do it differently, of course, but girls really appreciate honesty, but men don't. And some men are just fucking bitches and they can really get upset. So don't try to be direct where you don't have to. When I don't have anything of value to say, of something nice to say, I just refrain from talking. I just don't state my opinion, because many often the loudest person is the person who has the least to say. I don't try to convince people to my beliefs, to my opinion, because it's really pointless. From like my 25 years of being here, I've met so many people. If someone is willing to accept your and listen to you, they will do it from like for the first time. You state something, they argue, not argue, but discuss with you. And okay, like that's a fine conversation. You learn something, second person learns something as well. But usually the fucking morons who won't take anything than other than their point of view will just be indifferent. Will just fucking won't listen to you, won't take your opinion. Won't like this is pointless. Really, this is such a waste of time. Which I just prefer to stay back and to just not say anything, because at the end of the day, even if that is someone close to you, you will go back home and you will live your life, they will live theirs, and who cares? Like, you cannot change how the world looks with just your words, with just your intentions. You have to do the work, you have to do something really valuable. So just try to focus on your input, don't be so harsh on yourself, and don't appreciate what you have done already. And there will be a lot of moments, let me tell you, there will be a lot lone moments. There will be a lot of like moments where you feel like you are not being understood by others. But honestly, I think it's worth it, and I think I appreciate it much more than like this comfort life which really leads nowhere. Because being, let's just end it here.